Mic check one. Mic check two. Let's see. So, hope you guys been having a nice, beautiful Saturday. It's a nice Saturday morning. Well, some of us afternoon, like me. Such a nice day, beautiful day to see some nice shenanigans. So yeah, we haven't we haven't been seriously playing some Gran Turismo for a little while. So this is gonna be it's gonna be that day of just enjoying some good old racing. Let's see here. There we go. There we go. So it's been quite a bit of a morning, catching up on whatever I can, seeing what's going on in media. Gran Turismo itself has not been updated, or any updates to the game has not come out, to my understanding. Let's see here. Maybe let's check what's going on in with multiplayer. Let's see if anyone's on. Pretty sure some people probably wouldn't mind having a little bit of fun, just excuse me, trying to enjoy the game. Let's see, network environment, check, Mike. Check the network, check the network. Gotta make sure all the network is dope. See, do we got any fun races? Nah, no one's loaded. So let's see here. Let's go to the paddock. Thank you. Okay. All right, we got quite a few people, and of course there is a tomahawk. Got a few tomahawks in here. Let me see here. Let's go to car settings. We have 100% power. Right, let's go. Right now, we're just chilling right now, trying to get some get a vibe back, you know, a little. We haven't been playing seriously. Right? Doing a nice nod through the Daytona infield layout. We got someone coming from behind, probably a tomahawk. Yeah, it is. Okay, okay. Oh, Xenon once again. What in the world was he trying to do? The more tomahawks coming up the woodwork. Yeah. Okay. So we just got a Lambo just chilling out, like just throwing themselves just because. Xenon just chilling. I don't know who's that up ahead. What we got up ahead? Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Don't. We ain't trying to. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Who's that up ahead? Is that the same Lambo? I don't know. Well, that was a Bugatti for sure. Another Tomahawk. And you got some people just cutting through. Got a lot of people just sticking around. They ain't trying to race. They just fooling around. You could probably do a whole lot better if we had some racing soft tires. Probably get some racing soft tires. We got a lot of people leaving, I guess. Got somebody up ahead. Is that the Corvette? No, that's another Tomahawk, I think. There was a Corvette owner here. Looks like everybody left. Yeah, who's left? Wait, come on, game. Load. Load, game, load. We almost had like a full lobby and like everybody left. Yeah. Oh. Just want to buy some racing soft tires. Oh, the game's taking forever for me to respond right now. Come on. There we go. Yeah, we're out of here. Oh, that was a Camaro we saw. A lot of people left. People up there. Let's see. Full global. Man, the NA lobbies are not. Go to global lobby number 2. Go join Suzuka. Come on, come on. We can do it. We can join. Work harder, network. Work harder. Hmm. We are having a terrible time loading. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ugh. I need to solve my network issues for sure. It's like this is getting a little crazy. I'm about to just call it quits right here. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And by the time I get in there, everybody's left. Yeah, let's cancel. We're gonna close. And now we load again. That's unfortunate. So, I guess we'll just stick to the main matchmaking, lobbies. Yeah, the only way we're gonna get any like type of racing action going, to be honest with you. Game's practically dead, really. The only thing that keeps this game alive is the sport mode players. So let's see, what card do we want to use? I guess RCZ is meta right now. Right now, we currently aren't that skilled. So let's have some fun with the good old-fashioned AMG GT3, the refresh model. Actually, no, this is gonna take 8 minutes just for the queue to start, which is another like 15 minutes. Yeah, screw that. Let's do this. Let's see. Uh, still, DTR still dominates. We can use our Shishiro Botan. Let's go for it. Go into Road Atlanta. Road Atlanta. I like Road Atlanta. Just a bit though, not too much. And start off rolling around. Oh, that was terrible. Rip. We didn't pay attention to the markers on the floor. GG. Let's see. Um, let's load a ghost. Load ghost. Oh man. Oh no. Man, that ghost is pretty fast. He took that curve like it's magic. Hmm. We're probably gonna be about 7 seconds off. Actually, never mind, even worse. Maybe a full 10 seconds off. It's a fairly cloudy day for Road Atlanta. $132. Basically, yeah, 9 seconds off. That's pretty much what I said. Don't wanna pay a penalty. And we ended up fucking it up anyway. Wait, we are currently in just straight up qualifying mode. We're trying to get in queue. Hold on, let me get the hell out of here. I just realized that. That's extremely important. Enter deadline. We have 9 minutes. Short of 9 minutes to try to erase 9 seconds. Even though that's probably not gonna happen. Let's see here. Which ghost did we borrow? We borrowed Spark's ghost. Alright, here we go. Let's go. That was terrible. Restart. Of course, we was on the steer straight off the course. Again. Are you serious? The inconsistency of the fucking pad really hurts. That's rough. It must be nice to own a wheel. And he gets the trail brake super hard. Yeah, I figured as much. I knew I was playing with fire there. I saw that red timer. Nope. I think it's time. I think we can probably start playing some music that I want. We can probably start with some happy hardcore. Yes, sir. Let's go. Ah, that hurt my ear. There we go. Wow, that's rough. We haven't even beaten our current lap time, which is probably going to guarantee that we start at the back of the pack. Besides those that haven't decided to qualify at all. Yeah, let's just put some more seat time on the track. Let's go. Why? Trying not to understeer with this car is like the best part, I guess. There we go. That wasn't too bad. We gotta not mess up the next corners though. That was beautiful. We probably shaved off at least 4 seconds from our roll time. Like I said, we eliminated at least 4 seconds off our time. That was good. That's beautiful. Now we can crash into the wall in peace. Beautiful. And we started at the bottom. And so we have Dope Earth Alien. Dope Earth Alien is leading the charge for today. For this race. Uh-oh. I have a huge problem. Come on. My mic decided to start acting up. There we go. Oh no. I'm gonna have to worry about my mic a little later though. Shit. Oh well. So I think it should be fine for now. Dope Earth Alien leads the charge. We are at the very back at P13. Alright. Oh boy. Alright. There you go. We got Angry Fredbird behind us. Got Canatonic in front of us here currently. Slowly catching up to them. So there we go. Canatonic fighting with TCO. Oh, TCOG. I remember TCOG. Alright, so let's see. TCOG has no choice but to take under and go for P12. Under Canatonic. We got the trio behind us. Alright. About to close out our first lap. You got Road Atlanta, one of the more technical circuits in America. And we failed to shift properly. Angry Fredbird clears for P13. We're still trying to get our bearings in this race. Or in this track in general. We're completely scrubs at it. We got Brennan. Yep. The Alpha 155. Yeah, we're going super slow on T1, and we're almost understeered. Uh-oh. Got two people out of the race. Brennan overtakes smoothly for 12th. Dark shots, P14. Alright, we're slowly catching up to Angry Fredbird and TCOG. Got a yellow flag. Past someone that crashed way out there. Another two people slide out. Oh, that must have been Canatonic. And we slide out ourselves. Going from P10 to P13, unfortunately. I don't know how that sliding happened. Presumably everything looks pretty good, and we don't have any damage on us. So I don't know how my rear slide popped out. That was wild. About to wrap up lap 4. But Priceless and Bustin are fighting each other. Uh-oh. Gonna get a penalty for that one. There it is. Only a half-second penalty. It's not that bad. And I think we get to pay it this lap. Yes, we do pay it this lap. Okay, cool. Boston goes off the rails for quite a bit. And he understeers off T1. So we take P12. Let's not understeer on the S's over here. Boston quits, solidifying our spot in P12. But we do have T-Cog behind us as well. T-Cog is a lot more competent than I am in this track. See? Oh, brother! Brother! You had a chance! But no. That's unfortunate. Like, I don't know how you started, like, no, they snapper oversteered. Which caused them to bump into me. And from there, it was over. Alright, so this wraps up the 6th lap, which is the second last lap of the race. So we are currently just all on our own. 5 seconds between us and P11, and more than 10 for between us and P13. Yep, we figured as much. That was gonna happen. Half-second penalty, but we don't really care. It's the last lap of the race, and we are basically almost dead last. If we're not counting all the DNFs. And there's just no way that Altus takes us, right? That would be funny. Oh, and that's how it rolls. All right, give me a second over here to fix this mic stand. Let's see. Yeah, it's about to fall off. There we go. Let me tighten it. Tighten it back. Yeah, the padding for this clamp destroyed itself, so it slipped off. I don't exactly have like the best place to actually mount the mic stand, but it's whatever. We make it work. We make it work. All right, so let's continue. Get me out of here. Let's go again. Got 5 minutes. So it's about a 6-minute rotation, I guess. Got 5 minutes to try to be better than the driver I was just 15 minutes ago. Oh no, oh no, oh no. It was over. And we still understeer off the turn one. Let's go. Oh my lord, you saw that? You saw that? I know y'all did. Go over curb. Normal maneuver to do. Car immediately straightens to go off the rails. Okay, sure, I guess. And we still destroyed ourselves off turn one. Turn one is evil.
Oh.
Yeah, don't mind the background noise if you hear any. What? Come on. This is like our last attempt. There we go. There we go. That's what we talking about. Jeez. That was a terrible, terrible corner. Right, the match is about to restart. Well, not a restart, but like, it's about to start. We unironically did get a new record. Like it matters, because it's by a minuscule amount. But I guess progress is progress, you know. Let's see here. Yeah, M Guerra. It's currently holding it down for us at P1 with a nice qualifying time of 124. He's basically competing with other A-class drivers at that point. Canatonic, we see a familiar name. He's back once again. Hopefully he doesn't get destroyed like he did last time. That was unfortunate for him. What else we got here? I think that's it. I don't see any other familiar names. Let's go, let's go. E46M3 wishes a lot of people good luck. Apparently, I guess he has quite a few buddies here. Yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright, so we're gonna be trailing down American 1991. Oh, we got some fighting over here at the S. Leo Karayose out here trying to shove American 1991 to try to solidify his place as P12. The American 1991 is able to make sure that he doesn't lose control of himself. MKY is directly behind us, and he shouldn't have a problem like taking my spot because we do gotta take a penalty. He's an extremely proud BR person. Very patriotic for his country. I gotta respect it for that. Soto also has he took a major penalty. Probably like a 2-second penalty. Let's go MKY Racing. We're gonna take our spot back soon. But we do have Soto just chilling out from our right side. We'll let him go through. I don't want to fight that badly. So as we enter the new lap 2, we do see some more action. Oh, lordy. M. Gueda has decided to leave. And we see quite a few people. Hey, Salavin. Come on, bro. I don't know what's going on over there. But J Peach and Salabin seem to be going at it. Alright, so the rest of lap 2 was fairly uneventful, but that's all good. We're about to wrap this up. Head to lap 3. Pulled a 130. Very below average. Not a good lap time for sure. But we see some other people also failing to keep it within the track limits. It's all good, so. There we go. Not bad. So we're currently holding it down for P12. Lap 3 was really peaceful. Uh-oh, never mind. Peace has been cancelled. Unfortunately, we did understeer straight off the track. I guess late braking point was used. But alright, so we're gonna start off fresh with the lap 4. Okay, gonna trail brake over here. Oh, a yellow flag. Who bailed? And they made it back to the track. It was DP. That's unfortunate for them. Because right now Salabin is right on their tail. I think that was a fairly good corner. Lap 5. Uh-oh. Salabin wipes out. DP also wipes out. So we are currently P10. There we go. Now we're on the final half of the track. Damn, we are 10 seconds behind Soto. Salabin has decided to leave. DP still on our trail. He's gonna go from our inside on the right. He psychs himself out. Alright, so we all fixed ourselves, we're all squared away. None of us gets penalties for any of the shenanigans we just pulled off. And I don't think I hit him anyway. Alright. DP slides himself off. Alright, there we go. Let's go, baby. Oh, we messed up. I messed up that corner badly, and he got a penalty for some reason. Well, I got a second penalty, so it wouldn't matter. Oh well. Me and DP were going at it, so... Oh no, I thought that was fun. That was, fairly interesting. Oh, excuse me. Damn. Yes, maybe too much coffee? It's okay. All right. Good game. Good game. So let's leave. Got 6 minutes to try to be better than what we were. Like roughly what, 15 minutes ago? Let's go. We keep it rolling. No? I think that should be clean. Well, the game doesn't think so. That was not exactly a really good turn one, but we could probably still make this work into P2, turn two. All right, never mind. Now restart. Go. Damn. Wow. It's always turn one and the second 90-degree turn. The second, it's not even 90 degrees. It's even worse than that. It's more acute than that. Uh, yeah, we're not gonna have time for another lap. We handle this near 90 degree. This other one over here seems to be like, I don't know, 80. That's what it feels like. Very tight turn. Alright, so we got a minute and a half to revise and correct to see where we're going wrong. Yeah, there's not much signage on Road Atlanta. Hence why on some of the hilly sections, especially on the first quarter of the track, has markers on the actual road itself, so you can know what's about to happen at the end of the curve. We were en route for an actual good lap, and we won't be able to finish it. That's rough. This would have put us with George V8's time. Bam. Yeah, that would have put us in 126. We are in a... Oh, we have been demoted to C. We are now in the C lobby. High C, low B lobbies. Mixed. But either way, we got K-Togs leading the charge at P1. A nice lap time of 125. So do we know anybody else here? No, we don't. This is like a... This is a fairly Hispanic lobby. Oh, we're starting off in P12. We're not even starting at the back like normal, like the other races. So, here we are, about to start the base. We're gonna get behind P11, Lilos. Overtaking Junel, P10. Fairly respectful race so far. Uh-oh, never mind. We see some shenanigans heading. Damn, he really, ooh. Got looping for, uh-oh. Got Carlos, we got two people on our side. We can see where people were really trying to fight. But here we are in P7. we managed to dodge a lot of the extra feistiness, shall we say. We got Warrior over here. P6. Yeah, Ferrari. Spur Wolfery. Not exactly being the most friendly right now. Unless that was unintentional. It is a fairly big car. And Carlos 21 trying to be feisty over here. And meanwhile, Wolfery holding it down fairly well at P4. We are now currently in P5. The best we've done in a long while. It's been a hot minute since we've been in top grid, especially top 5. Not the best chicane we've taken. You know, we need to tighten up a little bit. We are slowly letting them get away from us. HGS leaves the lobby. I guess something happened. Need to be careful with Warrior. Warrior's right on our tail. Yeah, we're not doing too hot, but we still are challenging enough to keep Warrior at bay a little bit. He's still on our tail, so if we mess up the chicane, he probably has a good chance to overtake us for P5. All right, so we handled it okay. I will consider that okay. Let's go. Trying to get from our side. Wow. We lose control. And we lost P5. Currently P6. And now we gotta deal with Lupin. He probably thought I was going to take a more offensive stance and psych himself out, which works for us. We still make sure that we keep P6. Think that should keep us clean? Yes, it does. Alright, so we are about to head to finish our lap 6. Lupin still right on our tail. He's got our wind. Alright, come on, come on, come on. Alright, Lupin, you won that one. But we're still on you. Uh-oh, something happened to the Lambo. So we are now back in P6. There we go. Right? I think we could have. I think that's the best we could have handled that one. Black current fastest right now. We're slowly catching up to Lupin. It's like Lupin is losing his momentum. But I think he's strong enough to keep his P5 from us. Now Carlos right behind us. Shit. We're gonna be put in a fairly awkward position. We maintain P6. There we go. There we go. We got it. All right, so let's get back at it. We gotta keep going and keep getting better. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Got 6 minutes to get better than what we were before. We can definitely get hit a better time than what was it? 128? That was a slow exit out. We could have been a little bit faster than that. Driving hard. I wouldn't say I pushed you off. And if anything, it wasn't intentional. And you also did have a chance to correct yourself, but you were holding down the accelerator. You spun out. And so, I, I think that would be fair. I kind of forget about that. That's my bad. It's my bad. I'll make sure I won't do that again. It's like an honor thing. A fight, fight, fight. Qué buena suerte a usted también, mi amigo. Let's see here. See here. So we're just gonna be straight trash at Road Atlanta, aren't we? I'm gonna have to go there myself. We only have like 1 minute. No, we can't do shit in 1 minute. Get 20 seconds left before we start the fight. A new fight about live in Road Atlanta. Honestly, I feel like the traffic is harder to deal with than the actual race. Like, has anybody here been to Atlanta, Georgia before? Not fun to drive through, I'll tell you that much. Alright, so let's go again. We are probably at the bottom. Yes, we are at the bottom of the pack. I see J Peach as a returning player. Current P1, Champagne Powers. I see Warrior once again. Warrior's a pretty good player. The drive is great. Like from Atlanta to Jacksonville, I've done that before with my Challenger, my big boat. It's a great drive when you're outside of Atlanta, but when you're in Atlanta, boy, is it miserable. Maybe one day we should do some like RL drive streams, but not in a takeover way, you know? No, no, no. The Challenger already has a bad enough opinion on that one. Let's go again. No, catch up to Junel, who has P14. We are second last. We got a lot of work to do. But I think the main important thing is to try to maintain clean. Where's my radar? My radar. Ooh. Junel loses control slightly. He didn't wipe out completely, but it was enough for him to lose P14. Now we're making our way onto Warrior at P13 with an ever so rare sighting of the Jaguar. The type, the F type. Oh no, we got Fur. Fur seems to be a fairly feisty Uruguay player. Come on, come on, come on. Tars, it's chilling behind me. We don't have the room. We've got Tars on our side. Yeah, we have to let Warrior do his thing. We got a pretty gnarly wipeout at the chicane, the double chicane there. Okay. Keep it cool. We cool. No, Junel, don't do that. We keep it cool. We keep it clean. We chilling. We chilling. We laying back off. On Tars. Tars is, yeah, that's dirty as fuck. That was on purpose. That was definitely on purpose. Uh, we might get a penalty, a second penalty. Shit. But we can still serve it this lap, so that's fine. And so, what happened to Junel? Oh, Leonardo, you're Junel, aren't you? Montars. I saw that. I saw that in my radar. Alright, so turn one. Turn one's a problem for us. Can't properly trail brake the way I want to. And go through the S's. Don't fuck up the S. We fucked it up. Laid off the accelerator a little bit. Probably don't have to serve. No, we don't. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Whoop. I see someone had a little oopsie. Mr. Cirque. How you doing, Cirque? Cirque does not handle himself well. Yeah, you gotta build up the downforce, bro. You don't have downforce when you just come to a complete halt like that, and then you can't expect yourself to maintain, you know, momentum through the hills. You're gonna slide off again. So Alemao, poor Alemao, you got a penalty, I see. So we'll be catching up to our Brazilian friend over here. What the hell? Man, that was good. Our best lap so far, 127. And slowly catching up to Alemao. What the fuck was that? Another. We are now on the top half of the grid. So, okay, well, I'll take it. We're chilling at P8, lap 5. Alamao can't seem to stop accumulating penalties, eating them for breakfast. Gets another half-second penalty, so we can catch up to him pretty soon. Now we're under Alamao slipstream. Hello, sir. How are you doing today? We cut up to you pretty fast. But can we stick to him? That's the question. That's the better question. No, we could not. So we got Welber coming from our right. We'll let him go through. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Alright. We cool. What the hell? So Ted Striker is fighting with Welber for P7. Literally fighting for P7. I think we're gonna magically go to P8 once again in like a few seconds. Just a strong hunch I have. Yeah. Alright. We keep it cool with Teddy, with Mr. Ted Striker. There we go. Well, Bear's still behind us. He's a fast dude. My guy. He tried to slide off me to make it through the chicane. That was weird. Alright. We run it again. Now let's go again. That race was weird. It was absolutely weird. But we can get faster lap times than our qualifying times mid-race. I would like to have a nicer qualifying time, for sure. We messed that one up. Nope. I felt it. I felt it in my wheel. The wheel in my head. It didn't make sense to me. I wish I had an actual wheel. Eventually, we'll get a wheel. There's so many things we gotta get first. And we understeer off of turn one. Classic. Just a classic maneuver, you know? Nah, son. Nah. No, sir. No, sir. No cigar. Bro, we've just been... I don't even want to know, bro. We've been killing ourselves here. Oh, the fucking grass caught my... Sticky grass, man. Sticky grass. Although technically it's not the grass itself. Here you go. And we messed it up again. Come here, boy. Yeah. Fuck! I can't even make the lap anymore. We ruined our last chance to qualify. Some bull, man. Some bull. Aw. You tell me I can't go through there? Damn, there's some strong ass fences. Come here. Got 40 seconds. Drift over here. I don't have enough space to properly do burnouts or donuts. There we go. All right, so first place we got Welber, and as we've seen, Welber's actually pretty fast. We should be at the bottom again. We are third from the bottom. Graves says, "Have a good race." Wait a minute. Okay, no. Just making sure. There is a specific Canadian boy I'm trying to hunt for. No, not good to see you. Yeah. There we go. We got Warrior once again. Warrior's, oh, he changed tune to the, Citroen GT? Vision GT? It's a pretty nice, fun car, in my opinion. Ouch. We messed up our full throttle gimmick. We got Crow behind us, doing pretty well. Let's see if we don't die to the rest of the mob here. Crow fails turn 1. That's a BMO for P12. We're currently P13. BMO could not carry the speed needed, so we take over P12. Let's go. We messed that up. So BMO reclaims. But KGT was overzealous a little bit, so we take back P13. Let's go, baby. Party, boy. Doesn't seem to be having too much of a party over here. Alright. What was that? BMO couldn't maintain himself either. So Party Boy reclaims P10. More yellow flags. More people fighting. And just like that, Party Boy is now top half of grid. And I am currently see here. See here. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. We'll keep biding our time. We'll let him maintain the straight. We'll tailgate. So what I meant to say is Party Boy is bottom top half of grid. I am top bottom half of grid. But now we're both at the lower points of the grid, of the top half of the grid. P7, I'm me and P8. Got two, finished lap 2. Oh no, KGT overtakes for P8 because I left the chicanes at such a low gear. There we go. There we go. We overtake for P8. And we are going to lose it just as quickly as we gained it. That was a terrible corner. So Joe for that's Joe for pot, right? Yeah, that was Joe for pot. Let's go, let's go. Does not die. We did not die. That was good. We handled it pretty well. I still don't think that was a good corner exit. But we are currently holding P8 fairly well. We are basically the gatekeeper right now. Not the gatekeepers anymore. KGT is going to overtake us. Or not. I don't know what his decision was. We're not exactly shifting as we should be. And it was only a matter of time before this happened. So from P8 to P12. Beautiful. All right, we got Abacus behind us. Graves is actually pretty fast, but something happened to Graves. He's super behind. We almost messed up turn one once again. That was terrible. Almost caught to drill for pot. Trying to slowly catch up to him. That was my bad. We probably could have. Brother, come on, bro. Now you want to fight, huh? And now he's doing this on purpose. Like, brother, you didn't have to go so fucking slow. Like, I try to be nice. I try to give him his position back. And he fucking, fucking just flunders it. I don't know what that was about. But that race was stupid. From all the way across. I'll save that. That was stupid. I guess maybe we can take a chill pill real quick. Yeah, let me see what was going on. Let's see here. We just chilling, right? What's going on over here? I know Torres likes to be super rough for no reason. I've seen it happen. And Abacus was in 6th place, you know? Holding his own against Graves. Oh. I saw that, Graves. Graves outbreaks the shit out of him. That's wild. But Abacus takes it back without a problem. We'll see what's going on with Graves, because Graves is like... He went from being fastest lead, top of the pack, to somehow, you know, hanging around with me. Oh. There goes Tars. Oh. That is rough. What the fuck? So he probably bumps over the yellow triangle. Yeah. He cuts it, so he gets a half-second penalty. You. Hold on. Welber, what did you do? Oh, he was constantly fighting with K-Speed. He slides off. See, Lit Dragon. Let's check his perspective. This over here started a whole chain of events. James May's just chilling, and Welber and K-Speed were bumping. James May gets caught in the crossfire, but K-Speed gets flown off. In the end, K-Speed wins. And for some reason, Abacus gets a 2-second penalty. Where was this from? Oh, because he launched K-Speed. So that gave him a 2-second penalty. Just because of the fucking... He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. See what happened over here, Party Boy. Because Party Boy was up there. Oh, that's just unfortunate. So it makes a bad mistake. And BMO kills himself by accident. So I'm just chilling. So that was that. And this is where I guess one of the people that had to serve 2 seconds, Abacus, had to serve his 2 second penalty. Yeah, 2 seconds, more like 5 seconds. Holy shit, dude. Let's see. Anything else weird? For the most part, we've been chilling up until the last few laps. And it's largely due to our own fault. We climbed down so badly. But then when we were having that little fucking skerfuffle with whatchamacallit, was it Joe for pot? I tried to give him his spot back, which I did. And I did. Yeah, like fucking lowered to like yeah, like dude, like you can handle this curve at 100 miles an hour, and he fucking lowers to like 80. So I'm not going fucking crazy. Okay, I got brake checked basically. Let's see, it starts in 11. Nah, we good. I'm done. I'm done. Done with this. I'm done with this game. Let's see. What's going on the internet? What's on the internet today? All right. Let's go back to a more chill vibe, right? So let's see what's going on the internet today. All right, so let's see here. It might be fun to see, this little fun video. I haven't seen this. This is from Bisley's channel, Bisley channel. Let's see. Nah, nah. Let's not do that yet. Let's not do that. I think there's a better one we can do. see. I think this one's kind of cool. Hold on. Gotta cool it. Gotta cool it. So this is a Social Orbits video on how social media ruined car culture. I think this might be kind of fun to watch because I gotta lie, for the most part, kind of has, especially after what was it, 2020? 2020 was like uh it set the car culture back like 40 years. Let's see what we got here.
Little Timmy has been saving up for 2 years straight at his minimum wage.
All right, hold on. I go for volume. So, what's some of the points he's gonna bring up? He's already talking about a youngster that's been saving up, saving up cash to probably get a desired car that they want, and then because he happens to be within the awkward time where cars from factory aren't exactly cool anymore. Not just not cool anymore, but straight up dog water. A lot of the enthusiasts are sticking with some of the older stuff that these new kids should theoretically have already been able to access without basically selling their arm and soul. Like, for example, the millennials probably should have already been able to get the Mark IV Supra for a cheaper price should they want it. But because of its status, thanks to certain movies and video games, this Mark IV Supra is now a six-figure car when it pales in comparison to the future generation Mark Supra that would come, the Mark V. It just is. But however, so cool cars that a young person would like to buy are too expensive. Cool cars that should technically come out in current day are not being made and are being made by sharing um, brand technology, basically. Think Toyota 86 and Toyota BMW, that type of stuff. So crossovers are ruling the world. So even if you were stuck with a four-door sedan that maybe you could do some fun things with, whether they were front wheel drive or rear wheel drive, they don't exist because now they're just SUVs. So for us older people that have money, um, we're also kind of screwed, and we basically have to um, price gouge the remaining current cars for no reason. Like, there's no reason why a freaking for example, what's a wild car out there? A Dodge Stealth should be commanding higher prices than what it should be, just because it's technically a Mitsubishi 3000 GT, and likewise the 3000 GT shouldn't also be heavily venerated when it's not a good car. It really isn't. It wasn't until you got the VR4 with the big wing that it became an actual good car, because that's Mitsubishi, purely Mitsubishi, doing what they need to do to make that car fast and cool. But we digress. So that's basically that. My older generation and the generation above me basically are not selling cars, and we're passing them down to the younger generation. The younger generation gets the cars that they can possibly attain, uh, probably ruins them for visual looks, either through stance or through just drifting them or wrecking them while trying to drift, etc., which further drives up the price even higher and higher and higher.
job, all in order to get himself a sports car. He works overtime on his off days and saves as much money as possible. Well, the time finally came, and Lil Timmy had finally saved up enough money to get himself a nice Mustang. Something that anybody should be proud of doing.
Which I'm pretty sure he's going to allude to. And what I've said in other videos before, the Mustang is way too expensive. Hell, I wanted the Mustang originally, but instead I got the Challenger because the Challenger was cheaper. The Mustang is currently the most expensive. Well, not anymore. Back then, just a few years ago, it was the most expensive of the three uh, pony slash muscle cars. The Mustang, the Camaro. I didn't like the Camaro because you couldn't see shit out of it, and the Mustang was the Challenger was the cheapest one. So there's that.
Timmy buys the Mustang, and he is proud of himself. He gets on his phone, opens social media, and this is the first video he sees.
Mustangs walling out, thrashing, can't keep themselves. We got all the crowd killer jokes. Oh, the fucking okay. If you have a V6 American car, you have no room to talk. That's fair.
Hold on, post-editing orbit here, and I just realized it is an Infinity driver making statements like this. Who gave these G37 and G35 owners ego like this? What the hell?
Tell them that they drive a not so cool Skyline. That usually pisses off somebody.
Anyways, let's go back. I'm sorry. I just figured that out right now. Now Lil Timmy is conflicted. Did he really spend 2 years of his life working for this car just to end up being made fun of anyways? Long story short,
Yes. Very much so. It's a Mustang. And it's not a V8 Mustang. People will make fun of you for it. Why? Because it's not the most performance and there's this weird thing that people have by worrying about how a car performs on a track that I probably will never be able to get my car to, such as the Nürburgring, for no reason. And even then, you also have to consider that the people who perform those lap times are actual professionals. Just because, the RSR or maybe not the RSR, a 911 GT3 RS is able to make like ridiculous times doesn't mean that any owner who gets one will also be able to get that time. That's the difference between skill and just purely engineered. But either way, it gets better for anyone who does have a V6 Mustang out there. Don't sweat it too much. You technically have a better platform when it comes to amateur driving, especially autocross, because the V6 is lighter than the V8, and it's slightly more reliable because you don't have to worry about tuning, turbo problems with the EcoBoost motors. So if you're on a budget, the V6 Mustang isn't such a bad car. Don't feel too bad.
the answer is yes. As sad and as unfortunate that is,
He also said the same thing. He's probably going to have some different reasons for it, though.
that is just the reality of things. And that is just one of the many ways in which social media has ruined the car culture. In this video, we're gonna cover 8 more ways in which social media has actually fried the car scene.
Please never swim. If you're a swimmer, please don't. It is such a disgusting thing, dude. Like, I can't even, dude. You are such a liability to not just yourself, but to many other people around you if you commit to trying to do that type of bullshit. So for people who may not know,
Bro,
this
we're gonna
this this is just inappropriate as a whole. Everybody knows this. Just taking up an intersection so you can do donuts. There are many places for you to do donuts. The intersection of a street is not one of them.
cover
Um,
8 more ways in which
this right here, because at least with the donut thing, everybody can see you're just there being a fucking asshole, and so they can either just wait or um, leave the intersection via a turning lane, assuming they see you not about to hit their asses. But regardless of the case, innocent people know that someone's being an asshole and they don't have to interact with you. You're forcing people when you swim to interact with you. Because, like, you see this SUV is probably trying to panic and check if someone else is on his right while you're coming up on his left at a very high speed. And the same thing with the other driver, the yellow, you know, SUV, not yellow, orange. It's like orange yellow, I guess. Whichever. He is trying to he's trying to drive closer to the shoulder of the road so he can avoid the maniac that cut him off.
social media has actually fried the
Yeah,
car scene because it's looking bad. And you want to know
it's
one of the
terrible.
biggest lies? That 1,000 horsepower is the new 500.
No, it is not. It never will be. People need to get this out of the road, out of their heads, out of their minds. 1,000 horsepower is still a ridiculous amount of horsepower to have in a street car. You can make 500 horsepower work in a normal car for various means. It's still, depending on the skill of the driver, it's still manageable. It's still very manageable power, assuming that it's also naturally aspirated. So if it's naturally aspirated, then the engine is predictable. If it's turbocharged, yeah, you're gambling with fate a little bit, depending on how the car is tuned and how where it makes boost. But 1,000 horsepower, the amount of stress that you know that 1,000 horsepower is, just implements on the entire chassis of the car is insane. Put it this way: steel is still steel. At the end of the day, it still has a limit. Eventually, it will break. So 1,000 horsepower, no matter the technology, is still gonna make this engine eventually wear out ridiculously fast compared to an engine that has 500 horsepower. So for longevity, 1,000 horsepower still isn't even good. You're still gonna have to rebuild this engine fairly often, and then on top of that, you're gonna stress out the internals more. You're more likely prone to misfires. You're most likely prone to a blown, fucking, not just a gasket, but a fucking blown block eventually. That rod is eventually gonna fly. And that's just on the engine side of things. Now imagine the stress that an engine will exude on the transmission and on the drive shaft. Your transmission and drive shaft have to be rated, and differential have to be rated to be able to handle the shock from your engine. This is why, like, for example, this is very easy to think of. In a manual transmission, the Challenger has a Tremec 6060. This engine, oh, not engine, this transmission is rated to hold at least 600 horsepower before you got to think about upgrading that transmission's internals to be able to send power properly from the engine to the drive shaft. You're not gonna get away with supercharging a 5.7 Hemi to make, let's say, 700 horsepower and not do nothing to the transmission and expect the transmission to last. That's foolish.
Yes, inflation isn't only affecting the prices of eggs, but also how much horsepower is considered normal in a street car. In this day and age, social media will make you think that your car is slow simply because it isn't a max effort, full bolt-on E85 build on slicks. But why are you so specific? Because I've experienced this firsthand.
He's not lying. I've seen a lot of. I've gone to a few car meets before in my life. There are a few of these 1,000 horsepower builds that will show up eventually. And if you talk to these guys and ask them the right questions, they'll basically tell you that, yeah, this car is kind of miserable. Buying slicks is extremely expensive and they wear out really fast. And some of these cars, depending on the tuner and the suspension itself, 1,000 horsepower is normally going to be meant for a drag race application. So the suspension is normally going to be considered an afterthought. You know, it's not going to ride comfortably, and they're going to run through tires like crazy. Because at this point, they're relying the tires to perform the job of the suspension. Because usually these cars will have like their sway bars missing, and like just uninstalled completely. It'll probably have the rear sway bar still, but for the most part, it'll also probably have like a zero camber steering knuckle. Not steering knuckle, but yeah, like a zero camber kit for the rear, and that's for the front. That's not good. You're gonna feel very crappy with these types of cars. But even so, they do it for the clout. It's all for the clout. All for the clout.
And if someone with a 700 horsepower car is experiencing power inflation, can you imagine everyone else under that? That's crazy how social media has changed the perception on what we consider powerful or not. Back in the day, a 400 horsepower car was a monster, and now it's just mid.
To be fair, 400 horsepower is a lot. It's enough for a lightweight car to still, with proper gearing, accelerate to 200 miles an hour within a reasonable time, such as a long straight of the then world popular famous Circuit de la Sarthe, also known as the home of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Nowadays, yeah, you'll probably get like 180 miles an hour before you hit the first chicane, but that's still insanely fast. And mind you, we're talking about 400 horsepower on a lightweight chassis. And when I mean by lightweight, I mean cars that weigh close to 2,000 pounds. So therein lies another problem. Cars have gotten ridiculously heavy, where 400 pounds doesn't seem like enough because we keep adding more bullshit to these cars to make them way heavier. So now we got to bump the power to feel the same exact amount of like G forces experienced on the seat. This is why if you look up the Mazda Miata, the new generation, the ND generation, and you look at the normal convertible model and you look at the RF model, you see that the RF model makes a little bit more power than the normal model. And that's because the RF model has a mechanism that makes it look like a hardtop, like a complete coupe, but it's actually retractable by itself. All that mechanisms, all those motors, and the extra weight of the coupe, and the extra, all this other stuff to make the retractable top work properly and by itself is going to add weight and a lot of weight. Hence the power boom. That's why they have two different horsepower numbers, but they generally have the same 0 to 60 time.
2000s, a 300 horsepower Mustang GT was quicker than damn near every car you're gonna see on the street. In the 2010s, 500 horsepower was crazy. And now people act like
It's still crazy to me. It is still crazy. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. 500 horsepower on a car is crazy.
700 is just the starting point. And
Dodge may or may not have some fault in this for the Hellcat being what it is. 707 horsepower behemoths that you can get for the cheap. Because cars with that type of performance normally command 6-figure prices. And the Hellcat it was a car that you could get at below that type of price.
why this is so silly to me is because realistically, it's only the people who drive Honda Civics that think like this. Not even Honda Civics, that's disrespectful to them. I'm talking 1-liter 3-cylinders that produce 90 horsepower at the most. You know why I think this? Because the people who say stuff like this never seem to ask, can you even use that much horsepower on a street car? Again,
Technically, yes. The answer will always be yes. Now, the question you should be asking yourself is, will there be a officer of the law nearby that happens, when I happen to use all that performance? That is the question you should be asking yourself. The secondary question is there a kid that's going to automatically decide to jump out because the ball fucking flew off the fucking street, Those are the two questions. Beware the cops, beware the kids.
I'm gonna use myself as an example because I have a first-hand experience on this. 700
Yeesh.
horsepower on a rear-wheel drive car is not usable 90% of the time. You know why? Because physics exists.
And I'm glad you said 90% of the time because you notice that it's not the case. You technically can use 100% of the power.
If I floor my car, I'm spinning from first, second, and the beginning of third sometimes. I don't need to be able to hit 150 miles per hour in 4 seconds just to merge on the freeway.
But also to the, that's the Z06. The Z06 is fairly lighter than the Hellcat. The Hellcat is a boat. So that gives it, ironically, more stability on launch because all the weight gets sent back to the rear wheels, giving it traction. That's why the Hellcat is fairly good for beginners to learn how to drag race with, because it was somewhat forgiving. Other cars, yeah, like you're talking about, he's slipping through first, second, and maybe third, depending on your skill. You might straight up oversteer while trying to go straight.
Again, everybody's perception on that is cooked because when you open social media, the first thing you see is Boosted Lucky's Hellcat. And then you scroll, and the next thing you're seeing is Snot Rocket's 5.0. And then you scroll again, it's a 2,000 horsepower GTR. You see what I'm saying? So now the people with no car or sense of reality
They start thinking that all these cars are super common and that they're everywhere, whether they come from factory or they have been modded to be able to compete with factory cars like the Hellcat. That is simply not the case. They are not everywhere like that.
Thinking every car on the street must be 1,000 horsepower. And that's crazy. Most people watching this, I'm not trying to throw shots, but this is just statistically correct. Most people watching this can't handle 500 horsepower. I'm trying to throw shots, but this is just statistically correct. Most people
Bro.
watching this can't handle 500 horsepower. I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a slow, reliable car than a...
To be fair, the Honda Civic Type R is pretty freaking fast. The only main problem with the Honda Civic is that it's expensive, especially the Type R. The Type R is way too expensive for what you're asking a sports car enthusiast to buy. It's a front wheel drive. Sure, it's a monster that has like 320 now on top, but it's still a 4-liter engine, not 4 liter, 2 liter four cylinder that is being pushed just on the edge of reliable. It's front wheel drive, so you don't get to do some of the fun stuff that rear wheel drive cars are known for while being a sports car. And the car will be treated as a sports car on paperwork, at least. So it's like, dude, you don't win. You don't really win.
fast, unreliable car. I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a slow, reliable car than a fast, unreliable car any day. Reliability is so underrated. I don't want to step on my car doing a pull, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, please don't blow, please don't blow, please don't blow. No, that's no way to live.
So he's saying something that I mentioned earlier about decreasing the reliability of your car if you have excessive amounts of horsepower.
Sorry, I'm ranting about this a lot because that's even the main reason I'm making this video. I got a comment, somebody saying, your car is only 650. It's slow. Race this, race that. I bet you $50. I'll put anything on it. I'll put my house on it. Homeboy who was commenting that takes the bus to school. But let me stop crashing out. Let me stop. Let me relax. Let me calm down. But I'm going to ask you guys this question. How much horsepower do you think is too much? Me personally,
It depends on the car, the chassis, the drivetrain. It depends on a myriad of factors. So if we're talking classic, rear wheel drive only, two-door coupe, some generally small, I'm gonna say about 450, assuming that the car weighs less than 3,500 pounds. 450 is like the limit. Anything above that is a bit excessive.
think 300 horsepower is enough. 300 horsepower and you're gapping 90% of cars on the street. You don't need 1,000. You don't even need 500. 300 enough for daily commuting. But yeah, just let me know in the comments how much horsepower is a
Dude needs a Type R level of power for daily commuting. How do I feel about that? I shouldn't even talk because Hemi, you know? But it's attached to a fucking boat anchor.
enough. Well, the next way social media is ruining the car culture is actually the silliest thing I've ever heard. The mindset that if it's not expensive,
This right here is the reason why people are eating up the perpetually rotting first generation NSXs for six-figure prices. The NSX is not that good, bro. And that shit is gonna snap in half on you in like 10 years. Depending on how hard it's driven, it might snap on you within the first year. See, when it comes to like expensive cars, generally you get an expensive car because they hold some sort of unique status in automotive history, or their build quality was that really good when it was released, and thus usually some of these cars will maintain their price as the years go by. Exhibit A. Let's take a look at the F-150s and Tundras. These are trucks, sure, but these are kind of what happens when some of these truck generations, the older ones, were considered really good and really durable for what they are useful for, and thus they are worth the price that they command, because you will probably make more out of that truck eventually than what you put in for the truck. This is why truck prices normally don't go down too harshly, and sometimes they even appreciate. You can look at the Toyota Tacoma or the Hilux. And the other thing that you can also probably think about, ironically, are the manual versions of the Challenger. I am lucky to be one of those owners, but with the manual, that means I don't have MDS, so I don't have the generic lifter problems that accumulate with a V8. It's on Chevy guys know this, that it's the fucking cylinder deactivation systems that will destroy your motor eventually. So the drivetrains that don't have this command a higher price, especially when you look at the C7 manuals, or in my case, the Challenger manuals. So my car has an increased form of reliability, and it's not a car that you see often in that specific way. So my car is going to naturally command a higher price point than most other cars. It's just how it is.
It doesn't matter. What? Hey, look at that BMW over there. I don't know, man. I look-y don't like it. It's personally not my style. I don't know. But can you afford it? Social media has made us believe that your opinion is irrelevant if you're not a multi-millionaire in a Koenigsegg. Oh,
So when you're talking about super extremes like Koenigsegg's Remax, special limited edition, super hyper realistic, like hyper cars. We're not even talking about like McLarens and stuff like that. We're talking about. I just had it on. I just had it at the. Damn it! I just had it. But either way, Koenigsegg's, Rimac, um, Pagani. There you go. Or the SEC or SSE, SEC, the manufacturers of the Tuatara, or even Hennessy. You're talking about people who probably bought the car just to buy the car. They're never gonna fucking drive the car. It gets probably showed around, but for the most part, that thing will likely rot in the garage forever. It's maybe one of these cars or car owners will actually take it to the track to actually experience the full range of its potential, but that's highly unlikely. So if you find somebody that has no concept of the price of these cars or the type of people that buy these cars, disregard their opinion, because it ultimately doesn't matter. You're talking about a unicorn. Like you're banking on a multi-million-dollar guy that happens to also be very proficient at driving extremely high performance machines. Unlikely. They're probably too busy, doing other means of getting money. Come on, play.
wise man once said, money doesn't buy taste. The whole idea that you have to be able to afford a car to speak on it is silly to me. I swear, all this started with the little Andrew Tate meme that came out back in the day when he was first blowing up. Yeah, the what
Yeah, I believe what it was, like, what color is your Bugatti? I believe that's what the quote is.
color is your Bugatti meme started the
Yeah, there you go.
whole idea that I can't speak on something because it's out of my tax bracket. And that's silly to me. Garbage art sells for millions of dollars all the time. Doesn't make it any better because it's more expensive. I can still think it's garbage. But I'm just saying, not
Yep.
everything has to be my style because it's expensive. People act like money equals knowledge, but buying an expensive car doesn't mean you know anything about cars. If anything, it's more of the other way around. Someone who knows nothing about cars will think, well, I have all this money, might as well go buy the most.
I'm sorry, but if you're buying Lamborghinis Urus, you're getting yourself ripped off. And you deserve to lose every single fucking dollar you wasted on that damn SUV. Period.
expensive car, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, not everybody has to be into cars, know the nitty gritties and stuff, but I'm just saying that's a silly mindset to have. Owning a Koenigsegg doesn't make you an expert, just like owning an expensive camera doesn't make you a photographer. But before we even move on to the next way social media has cooked everybody in the car industry, today's video is brought to you by Jesper.
The hell is Jesper? Nice. Tire light. It's flashing too.
This is their all-new X1, their 7-in-1 jump starter and tire inflator. If you hate being stranded, this is one thing I promise you will need. It got my deflated tire up to air in literally 1 minute, and it's perfect for when your battery gives out as well. The X1 is small enough to be carried around easily, but don't let that fool you. It packs a punch. Pick yours up today by clicking the first link in the description, because this is one of those things that is better to have and not need than need and not have.
My only problem with things like this is that most people tend to forget that you're supposed to take them back home every once in a while so they can charge and then put them back in. They do lose charge over time. I've had a few people like get stranded because of that.
The next thing is the idea that stock cars can't be cool. And
Let's see, what stock car is cool? None of them. I kid. There's a lot of cool stock cars out there. You can keep them stock. Now, my only thing is well, I feel like some cars should come with some level of height adjustability because let's be real, especially when it comes to sports cars, you want them a little low. A little low. Lowering a car really does change the overall look and feel of a car. So that would be cool. That would be cool. But for the most part, a lot of cars are pretty cool straight out the factory. You don't really need to mess with them.
people with economy cars ricing their car out to fit in.
That's also funny though. Usually the thing is that's a prelude too. That's a fucking prelude with the DC2 spoiler. DC2 Integra spoiler. This is not even flush with the car. There were no attempts made for this to be flush with the car. And he's going for an AutoZone livery. Come on, bro. This poor prelude doesn't deserve this. But either way, um, generally these are people who really want to start modifying stuff and start working on stuff because this is very likely their first car and they probably won't be able to get into a second car for any time soon. But instead of these guys actually just calming their fucking pants and just getting used to driving as a whole because they still gotta put some seat time into those cars so they can know the physics of what they're doing, the ramifications of what they do, get used to learning how to fucking maintain your car. You start fucking adding extra bullshit that fucks up your car eventually. Bro, I can go off with the fucking deep end with this type of shit, and it's unreal. Hell, I might be even talking nonsense to you with some people right now, but either way, if you're ever watching this and it's your first car, don't fuck with it. Learn to drive your car the way it is. And eventually, you're probably going to figure out, yeah, this car is fine. It does, what it needs to do, and how it needs to be. It's very hard for someone that's run of the mill to come up with modifications and designs that are more that are better than the engineers who designed it in the first place. You're gonna need some time to think about what modifications you really want with the car, and or if it's worth performing those modifications to that car, or would you rather just continue saving up money to eventually get the car that you actually want to have, and or perform modifications too.
Social media brings pressure to people, even when it's not necessary. According to people on the internet, if your car isn't slammed,
Okay, I said like, slam cars look good, but this is just way too much. Is this supposed to be a mirror replica?
even when it's not necessary. According to people on the internet, if your
No, it's not a mirror. It looks like one though. It's I think this is a Z, like an older generation Z. And honestly, it would look pretty good if it wasn't fucking slammed to the fucking ground. It has that nice vibe.
car isn't slammed, boosted, wrapped into the craziest color known to man, people say it's boring. Social
To be fair, to be fair, I'll give the people this. When you look at restoration photos of cars from the 60s and maybe early 70s, you're going to see a lot of cars with wild colors. They were rarely ever white, they were rarely ever black, rarely ever gray. They used to be a lot of cars with crazy colors. And nowadays it's hard to find car options with colors for a lot of cars, especially the economy cars, which is a big deal because economy cars are the ones that sell the most. So if you wanted to personalize your economy car straight from the factory, you are shit out of luck because you are limited in your configuration, especially when it comes to color choices. Like most economy cars, you'll have like the most common ones, like your blues, your reds, but there's rarely ever any yellows. But I do see some yellows every once in a while. But the rare ones are normally stuff like green. You rarely see green cars, which is a shame because some cars really do look nice with green. Um, Green, orange. Don't really see too many oranges. You don't really see too many purples. You don't really see too many pinks. Um, Hell, most color options they don't even have pink. Like if there was any color at all, pink is definitely like one of the weaker color options. Um, but I think you guys are starting to get my point. If people had a choice to pick some of these more vibrant colors from factory, they wouldn't have to go and wrap their car. But most of these people wrap their cars because, well, doing a paint job is very expensive. One, two, actually, even if you have the money to paint your car, you technically would lose out on money because for some reason, is currently in the current climate, it is more appealing to sell a car in white, gray, or black, and thus you can ask for a higher price, which is kind of BS in my opinion. Especially when you consider some of these cars that do have extra color options, it costs extra to implement those color options. So it's kind of like, damn, you lose out on money harder than the one that chose the boring color. So I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
boosted,
Okay, we talk how much boost we talking about.
wrapped into the craziest color known to man, people say it's boring. Social media makes stock cars feel incomplete, you know? To be honest, some
To be fair, they kind of are. Most of these cars, besides the actual act of being able to take a person from point A to point B, are largely incomplete. I feel for the customer on this because now we have like all these different trends that a lot of these manufacturers want to capitalize on and implement to their cars, and thus these cars are overcrowded with a bunch of amenities that may not suit the driver specifically for what they want the car for, but they have no choice but to take it in because, well, the manufacturer's job is to make money. They are a business at the end of the day, so they're gonna put in stuff in the car that makes the car sell to the most people possible. So when it comes to very niche people, like I'm gonna include this guy because he seems to be a car guy, and car guys are in the minority of anything. Um, you know, our opinion is somewhat acknowledged, but most of the time it's ultimately disregarded. Such as most of us would probably want a car that's extremely minimalistic in nature and probably would only have like the most, at most, the safety features that the country would allow, and everything else just deleted, gone, adios. Some cars, no new. I still use CDs, and no car these days uses a CD player. So I can only jam out to my tunes in my freaking 2015 Dodge Caravan. That's if I want to use CDs. And my phone also does support aux, so I can also do that too. But nowadays, we're starting to get radios that don't support aux either. So aux is also another thing to go. But that's fine because now we have Bluetooth and Android Auto, and you know, Android Auto, uh, Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth. But who's to say within 10 years that these systems won't change? Because maybe one day a new car will come out that doesn't support my current phone pairing with it. Eventually, the support starts to get cut out and starts things start to feel incomplete to the owner based on what they have surrounding them for the car. But I think I'm going off the deep end here, so we can continue.
Cars don't need heavy mods to be cool or clean. Well-maintained stock cars can be classics in their own right. And real enthusiasts respect a car that is cared for more than anything. Maintenance is up to date, cool. Your paint doesn't look like it survived World War II, cool. Your interior is nice, welcoming, and clean, that's all we want. Well, I shouldn't say we, because most of the community doesn't want that. If your car isn't on E85, it's boring, according to people. The reason
I think ED85, because he does bring up a point. E85 is kind of a scam for the most part, and for the most competent tuners, they'll still make high tunes run on 93 octane gas. Ideally, you should get a tuner that can get the most out of a car with 91 octane gas. Just in case you ever got to go to California, just throwing that out there. Um, so if you have it modified for 91 to 93 octane gas, E85 E85 conversions are a pain. E85 fuel is not that good as people claim it to be. And for the most part, depending on your fuel usage, like, because at the end of the day, you still got to get like compatible, fuel injectors. You got to get the appropriate hoses, the pumps, the fuel pumps, the E85 fuel pump, you know? And in some cases, even the fuel tank to fully support E85, and it doesn't, so it doesn't fucking rot inside your fucking car, or eventually block the injectors from performing their job, because having a clogged injector is not fun. But for some reason, it's people are thinking like, oh, you got the tune, you got the turbos added, the turbos are modified, they're big turbos. You're making all this power. So next thing is to, make it reliable and, use E85 so it doesn't blow up your engine. And then when you properly list their setup and you find out that the setup is probably good for like 700 horsepower, and you're like thinking to yourself, wait, you could probably get away with 93 octane gas, and you probably just have to dial back your tuning by like maybe like uh you know 50 horsepower less, and it's for the most part the people won't really notice the difference, but because they don't see that, oh, I don't have that 700 plus on paper, it has to be on paper. Dude, you serious? Are you shitting me, right? You really you really want to stress about you? We are already on the realm of high horsepower. You can't feel the difference between 50 horsepower lost. But I want my 700 horsepower. Fuck you.
Reason I'm even adding this point to this video is that about like a couple weeks ago, I saw a video somebody posted, and the whole purpose of her video was her explaining that she isn't going to modify her car. And then I said this in the comment: the worst money pit is modding an economy car. You'll regret it when those "I could have gotten something better" thought sets in after. And honestly,
Yep.
I feel like the reason people go modding cars like this is because of that pressure that social media brings.
So kind of the thing I said earlier, where people are
If
get
you drive
super
a stock
excited.
car,
Yeah, they're super excited to get into the car scene. They want to show off what they got, but they can't do anything else because they probably don't have the money to actually get a proper platform, a car with a proper platform to do something cool with, and they'll end up destroying their first car, like the Prelude we saw earlier.
you're not doing it right mindset. And then you have people dumping thousands of dollars into cars that don't need to be modified. Like, why are you straight piping thousands
That
of dollars?
was That's a wasted E8 AE86. It's a wasted AE86 chassis. Maybe it doesn't have a functional engine, and that's probably why they did what they did, but chassis is gone. I also like the license plate though. It reads poser. Same thing with the hood, yeah. Yeah. This is clearly intentional. But still, feels bad, man.
Into cars that don't need to be modified. Like, why are you straight piping your RAV4? Not every car needs to be modified. If you want to buy a car that supports mods well for cheap and then building it after all, hey, go ahead, do that. But if you're buying a Prius and then slapping a flame kit on it,
That Prius would go harder if it wasn't cambered in. And maybe mid-engine swaps.
and slamming it, why? There's going to be a point where you spend so much money on that car, you're just going to regret it. It's gonna get to that point, guaranteed. Why? Because after you put $5,000 into a Prius, you're gonna be thinking, why didn't I just buy a better car? Why didn't I just put this $5,000 into something else? It's going to happen. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. The moment you drop a single dollar on that first mod, you've trapped yourself. Enjoy the car for what it is. It's better. Trust. It's better. You're keeping your car reliable.
Trust.
You're not digging
Trust.
yourself a money pit, and your quality of life is going to be great. Nothing beats peace, my friends. The harsh truth is that social media will never be satisfied. If your car is stock, they'll say it's boring. If it's modded, they'll say you ruined it. No matter what.
I think his overall objective opinion is that social media will remind you that you can't please everybody at all times and 24/7. You will never please anybody and everybody with your car. Period.
Someone will always have an opinion. So build what you like. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who wakes up and gets in that car and drives it and spends money on it. Not the other person who thinks your car is trash because it's stock. And that brings me to my next topic, which is clout chasing. Mostly rage baiting. We have people intentionally.
Sometimes I do 60 rolls in 6th gear to see how an M5 feels. Okay, yeah. Just trash talking.
Controversial takes just to farm engagement.
That's not controversial. It's bullshit. That's basically what it is.
takes that they don't even believe themselves. These aren't real opinions. They're designed to get people mad and commenting. And the worst
So, isn't that like, you know what? No, no, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it.
worst part about it is it works. Social media thrives off negativity. And then you have car YouTubers faking car dramas and car thefts just so they could get clicks. People pretend to hate each other for content even though it's all fake behind the scenes. It's less about the cars than the drive.
And more about the personality with the car. But look at all these nice JDM cars. We got a NAS R34, we got RX-7, we got an Alpha in front of the RX-7. This right here. You got a Lotus Elan. That's a Lotus. I don't remember what this is. That's a Toyota. This is the granddaddy of the Supra right here, boys. No, it's even worse. That's a Jaguar E-Type. Yeah, that's a Jaguar E-Type. I am mistaken. Another Elan. This is mainly a retro show. And you just happen to have some nice JDM here on the side. Okay, cool.
Driving experience anymore. And now it's just about making money, creating content, clickbaiting. Because it works. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I can't even blame the guys. It's working. You have people buying multi-million-dollar cars just to dance on it, just so they can promote their little, you know. It's silly. It's the fact that they get attention. So obviously they won't stop. But it's so cringe. Clout is one hell of a drug. And if you ever see me or catch me doing something this silly to my car just for views, call me out on it, please. This got to be equivalent to selling your soul. But we got like 2 more left to go, and I've been yapping. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, so we're just gonna go through it quickly. The next thing social media has done is promote recklessness and just made everybody delusional on their actual skill level. People like squeeze bends, people swimming through traffic, drifting cars around corners, takeovers. It makes people think they can go ahead and recreate this type of activities, right? And I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I fell for this trap as well. I never told you guys this, but like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, when I had my Honda Accord, I took
4 years ago, 3 years ago. When was this video released? Brother, 1 month ago. He's definitely talking about lockdown era. Lockdown era, yes. I will admit, it was fun as shit to be a car enthusiast during that lockdown period. I ain't gonna lie. But at the same time, you would never catch me in a takeover situation. That was just stupid. You're just asking to get in trouble. You see, the thing I don't understand with some people, especially these clout boys, especially when they're doing illegal street racing. Rules of street racing, illegal street racing. 1, you keep it on the highway. 2, nobody can be around. 3, you don't record. And 4, you never bring it up. Ever. What happens on that strip, what happens in Mexico stays in Mexico. And it is a past to never be brought up. You don't do that shit. So I remember, I'm assuming that's what he's probably going to bring up, that he probably would have wished that he had like a rear-wheel drive car during that period of time, because it was fun. I'm not going to lie. But he probably would have gotten himself into major trouble if he actually had the available vehicle for him to do these terrible things with.
into an empty parking lot and started doing donuts. It was stupid, I know. I'm more mature now and I know how stupid that was. Well, I faced the consequences. The cops came, I got a misdemeanor, I got my car impounded for 30 days. All that happened and I learned my lesson. It's not worth it.
Oh, he still went for it anyway. In a Honda Accord, he said?
I know how stupid that was. Well, I faced this, but like 4 years ago, And I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I fell for this trap as well. I never told you guys this, but like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, when I had my Honda Accord, I took it to
Yeah.
an empty parking lot and started doing donuts. It was stupid, I know. I'm more mature.
Yeah, you couldn't even get away with that. That just sounds even worse. Now that he that I realized that he mentioned that it wasn't in an Accord. Nah, son. He tried it anyway. There was just no. He, it sounds like he got the best case scenario after getting best case scenario is that he didn't get caught, but he probably wouldn't have learned his lesson. So this is perhaps the true best case scenario. He didn't get anyone hurt, probably didn't get hurt himself. You know, it's a little smudge on his record, sure, but he learned his lesson, and it is what it is at this point.
Now, and I know how stupid that was. Well, I faced the consequences. The cops came, I got a misdemeanor, I got my car impounded for 30 days. All that happened, and I learned my lesson. It's not worth it. And to be honest, what happened to me was one of the best case scenarios. I learned my lesson.
See, he also agrees. He also agrees.
In a not so harmful way. Other people aren't so fortunate. They see people like Squeeze Ben. I learned my lesson in a not so harmful way. Other people.
Oh boy, boy. Let's look at this real quick. That's a spare tire, for starters. This is a spare tire. All the fenders gone. These are the door cards. Roof is gone. The other doors seem to be barely hanging on. Yeah, see the hood scrunching up. It's the hood right here. Airbags did deploy, all of them. These are all airbags. So every single airbag went off. But the roof of the car seems to be missing completely. Got this fender about to fall off. And this please don't mind the background noise. Let's see here. Where's the other wheel? I don't see the wheel. Damn. Yeah, I don't see the wheel. I think the wheel, this, because you can see like the under. I think this is the wheel is supposed to be around here, but it's gone completely.
Aren't so fortunate. They see people like Squeeze Ben swimming through traffic at 100 miles per hour, blasting
Ooh.
box, and they think they can recreate it, and so they go hop in their 90 horsepower Volkswagen and try the same thing and take out a family of 5 in an SUV. It's silly. Stop. Just don't recreate this. And
That's not just silly. That is beyond tragic, and you do not deserve any form of pity if you survived. You deserve to be tried to the fullest extent of the law if you're swimming through traffic on purpose. Like straight up, like especially on a slow car too, you intentionally have to be trying to get that car up to speed over 100 miles an hour to get a weak car like that and start trying to swim. And the worst part is, these cars, especially economy cars, are not made for that type of motion. You will lose control of that car.
sad because social media lets these videos be monetized. People who post these videos get no consequences. They make money off of it promoting illegal activities. All they need is a disclaimer saying it's AI generated, even if it's obviously not. I never understood it. Who sees stuff like that and be like, maybe I can recreate it, rather than sitting from the comfort in their own home and admiring the skill it takes? Because you'd be lying if you said driving like this didn't require a certain level of skill. The average Joe can't get in their car and recreate this. It's silly, but it's true. The reality is, power means nothing if you don't know how to to handle it. Swerving through traffic at
That is
100
true.
miles per hour with no seatbelt is not impressive. Knowing how to properly parallel park is impressive. Drive
That's
safe,
impressive.
make it home. But the final and biggest way I think social media has cooked the brains of car people is FOMO, fear of missing out. On social media, if you're not 19 with your dream car, you failed at life.
Which is very dangerous because we know how we have like a fucking like at least here in the US, we have a giant massive mental health crisis. And this whole thing of, you know, young guys not being able to find love, etc., not being able to get relationships, etc. This mentality of you not being able to get the dream car you want at a certain age before you're even allowed to rent another car legally is complete bull. And let me tell you something, right? I didn't even bother buying my first car until my late 20s. You got time. Just assess the situation that you got, your livelihood, you know, take care of the people that are with you, and you know they'll do the same as well. So there's that. So just I think we kept going off a tangent. It's supposed to be a fucking 11-minute video, but I'm pretty sure we are making this extremely long. But it's just something that I have a lot to say. I really do.
If you have a car and you're not spending tens of thousands of dollars on it, you failed at life. If you're not putting yourself in crippling debt while working at a dead-end job trying to buy a $90,000 car, you failed at life. Don't fall for the trap of missing out. You're not missing out. You have a roof over your head, you get fed, you're blessed. You don't need a $100,000 car to feel like you've made it. Just enjoy what you have, my friends. But that's it. Hopefully, I know this isn't gonna happen, but one can only hope that everything will go back to normal soon enough. But who are we kidding?
It's not. This
That's not happening anytime soon.
he knows what it is. This was a good video. This is a good video. It's a by Social Orbit. You know, this is my first video that I've seen of this guy. This guy seems to be pretty well versed, at least when it comes to the car stuff. So, Social Orbit, how social media ruined car culture. That's a pretty good video. And I 100% hard agree with basically anything that he's saying in this video. Really good video. And that is also going to be our pit stop for today. We will continue our stream on Tuesday. For anyone that decided to stop by, I appreciate you for watching the stream. Like I said, we will be back Tuesday. We will be undergoing like changes in the channel and the way in the amount that I stream is going to be reduced. So we're probably going to do like an on like maybe like 3 streams a week. But regardless, we will cross that bridge when we get to it. So in the meanwhile, for anyone that has bothered to stop by and watch the stream, I appreciate you. And I hope you have the rest of it, enjoy the rest of your day. So great Saturday, great to enjoy, great to partake in life. And, if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like. And if you did not enjoy the content, leave a dislike. It's all up to you. I greatly appreciate your support either way. And I will see you next time, Tuesday. Take care, bros.